What's going on, everybody? My name is Derailious. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be comparing Necron armor to Superior armor, as well as a bunch of other armor sets to Superior, to kind of showcase the fact that Superior has fallen by the wayside in the current meta. Obviously, this shouldn't be too ridiculous news to anybody. I mean, Floor 7's been out for a few months, but it's really crazy to see how far we've come from Superior armor. Before we get into this though, I really want to say thanks for all the support recently, and we are getting close to 12.2k, which is the next goal for this channel. If you could subscribe down below and like the video, it really will mean a lot. On that note though, let's get right into this. So to start off in this video, I'm going to begin by going over the price ranges for both Superior and Necron armor. If I want to make the point that Necron armor is inherently better, or if Superior is obsolete, I first have to showcase the prices and show that they are in a relatively similar price range, and to my opinion, they are. The reason why I'm stating this is because Superior Dragon armor currently has a net fragment price of 130,000 coins. If you were to buy up 240 of these, which is the amount you need to make Superior, you would need to spend 33 million, which is a relatively high amount. Necron's gear is more expensive, quite obviously. The boots are 12.7 mil, the helmet's 14.3 mil, the leggings are anywhere from 18 to 20 mil, I see this one for 17 mil, and the chest piece, the really expensive portion, is about 58 to 60 mil. Obviously, this seems like a very different price range. There's 110 mil or so for a full armor set. And you might be saying to yourself, okay, Derailious, how can you make the argument that these are similar price ranges if they are so different? And the reason why I'm able to say this is because these price ranges are not as far off as they seem, especially because Necron's gear is inherently better because of its higher stat rolls and is more overall wanted. Point I'm trying to make here is, on Necron gear, and this is with Ancient, the base armor has 40 strength per piece. On Superior, though, if you were to swap, you can see that Superior only has 10 strength per piece. As well, the rest of the offensive stats, notably crit damage, are inherently lower on Superior. Although Superior has a pretty nice set bonus, so does Necron's gear, and that makes it worth a lot more. I feel like these armor sets are worthy of comparison to each other, even though they have such drastically different price points, because relatively they make sense for the armor they're trying to be. Necron's gear is endgame gear, and will be the most expensive. Superior is no longer endgame, it is not meant to be. I would argue Superior is now a mid-game armor set at best, and I would argue even in the early game, someone who's pretty good at Bazaar flipping can get Superior in less than like 3 days. If you don't think that's possible, go watch the Dirt to Hyperion video. That guy's able to make like 15 million coins in like 3 hours, dude. It's insane. So now that we've compared the general armor sets in terms of price, it's time to compare them in terms of ability. First off, defensively, I would actually make the argument that Superior isn't as bad as it seems, notably because of its high defense values. The high defense is really nice. If I'm using a Baby Yeti pet, which is what I will be using for this video, it has a level 88 Baby Yeti, so 88% of my strength will become defense. This is important as I have 1500 strength using a Flower of Truth, and 2300 defense as well. If I do /pet or, for instance, /sb menu, and I go over to my defense value, you can see I have an effective health of 49,478. If I swap over to the Necron gear and I pull up my SB menu, you can see I have a effective defense of 53,289, which is more, but not by that large of a margin. I would also make the argument here that if you have Superior currently, you probably will be able to do all tier 4 bosses for the foreseeable future, although tier 5 bosses are something else entirely. Defensively though, Necron's armor is not necessarily that much better than Superior, and my Superior isn't even recombobulated and could also use some further buffs, as you can see. Generally though, this is where the sort of Superior is still kind of okay argument falls apart, because offensively, it gets destroyed. The reason why I'm saying this is because with the Flower of Truth, I have 1517 strength and 380 crit damage while using Superior. Swapping over now to Necron, I have a total of 1604 strength and 442 crit damage, which is over 100 more in both departments. Well, that doesn't necessarily seem like that big of a difference. If you head over to the end and you start hitting some Endermen, you'll see what I'm talking about. If I warp over to the Dragon's Nest and I sort of just tap an Enderman in the face, you can see that with Necron gear, I do 211,000 damage on my first hit and 199,000 on future hits. 213,000 there, 199, kill that Enderman, 214,000, so anywhere from 200,000 to 215,000 damage. If I swap over to Superior now, hit another Enderman, I do 162,000 damage, which is a massive, massive loss. Over 40,000 damage in difference. That doesn't necessarily seem like a lot, but it'll continue to stack as things get more and more crazy in the game. As more talismans are released, and my talismans aren't the best, by the way. They are all reforged to Forceful and don't necessarily have the best damage perks. As this gap keeps widening, as more things keep getting added, Superior will continue to fall behind offensively. Not to mention the fact that in dungeons, Superior gets absolutely obliterated by Necron gear. And that's, quite obvious. 5-star Necron in dungeons cannot be beat. It literally has 1200 health on a single piece, as well as 238 strength on a single piece. It's insane. Generally, though, I don't necessarily consider this a bad thing, although it is quite crazy to me the fact that we could say now that Superior has been relegated to an obsolete armor set over a year after the game came out. It's actually been way over a year. It's almost been 2 years now. Crazy. Point I'm trying to make here, though, is that Superior has been relegated to obsolete armor and is no longer relevant for endgame content, in my opinion at least. I don't think it'll be relevant in things like the Dwarven Caves. I don't think it'll be relevant in future bosses, notably the big ice giant boss. I think, personally, Superior should be used as a flex armor set to kind of show that you've beaten the dragon portion of the game. Since we've very clearly moved past the dragon portion of the game, however, don't expect Superior to continue to perform well in things like dungeons and in future content. We are going to eventually see another island, probably a combat one, and it will continue to be a uphill battle for Superior to reclaim its spot, which I don't think will ever happen. Superior inherently is too weak right now to ever make it to a level of, being relevant again. Necron's gear is actually on its way out already, considering that Storm Armor is so ridiculous in dungeons, and outside of dungeons, you kind of don't really have to worry too hard about your, offensive stats. It's really crazy to me to see how fast the meta is changing. Like 6 months ago, Necron and Frozen Blaze were like the only things people even remotely considered, and a year ago it was still just, Superior Dragon, and that's it. And now it's like so many different armor sets that people are making up. People are just throwing things all over the place. Necron's gear is the strongest gear in the game right now, although in 6 months I could bet it probably won't be, because as future content continues to come out, and future bosses continue to come out, I could see another set overtaking it, at least outside of dungeons. Although I believe inside dungeons, for now at least, until we get a next dungeon, it will be the best set. On that note, though, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I hope you enjoyed this rambly little video talking about why Superior is now bad, at least offensively, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.